In a massive blow to Vladimir Putin's Russian economy, Ukraine has blitzed the Russian oil facility at Tuapse, losing Russia's $100 million a day. Ukraine is no longer just defending its own soil, it's taking the fight 1,000 kilometers into the Russian heartland. They're striking oil terminals, military factories, and even chemical plants. Reports suggest Russia has been forced to cut its oil output by at least a fifth following these hits. A Ukrainian drone attack on Russia's Black Sea port of Tuapse sparked a fire and left at least one person dead, according to Russian officials. The strike, reported early Monday, comes just hours after emergency crews extinguished a previous blaze at the same port following a similar attack on April the 16th. Regional Governor Vladimir Putin said the port was hit by what was described as a massive drone assault, triggering a fire at the seaport. Authorities confirmed that one man was killed and another injured in the incident. Drone debris also caused damage across the city. Tuapse is one of Russia's key southern ports, serving as a major export hub for oil products as well as dry cargo such as coal and fertilizer. The strike comes amid a broader increase in Ukrainian attacks targeting Russian energy infrastructure in recent weeks, as diplomatic efforts to end the conflict remain stalled. In a major blow for Putin, Ukrainian drones have wiped out 2 Russian warships right under the despot's nose in the Sevastopol Bay in Crimea. This footage, recorded in the night of April the 19th, shows the daring strikes behind enemy lines targeting 2 Russian naval vessels. According to information available, the vessels hit were the Yamal Project 775 large landing ship and the Nikolai Filchenkov, a Project 1171 large landing ship, both part of Russia's Black Sea Fleet, or should I say Russia's remaining Black Sea Fleet, because there's not much left. At the time of the strike, both ships were stationed in the bay, a key naval hub in Crimea. The Yamal was built in 1988, measures over 110 metres in length, and is capable of transporting up to 500 tonnes of cargo, including armoured vehicles and troops. The warship is armed with 57mm AK-725 guns, MRS A215 Grad M launchers, and Strela 2 manpads. Its estimated value is reported to be in excess of $80 million. Meanwhile, the Nikolai Filchenkov, built in 1975, has a significantly larger carrying capacity of up to 1,000 tonnes, allowing it to deploy dozens of armoured vehicles along with a substantial landing force. Equipped with various naval guns and in some configurations, surface-to-air missile systems. Its estimated value is put in over $70 million. A third Russian warship has reportedly been damaged in the attack, alongside port facilities and oil tankers. Fires are said to have burned for hours following the assault. In temporarily occupied Sevastopol, Ukrainian intelligence officers also claim to have destroyed a Podlyot K1 enemy radar station with an estimated value of around $5 million. The strike was carried out using Ukraine's drone fleet, which appears to have operated undetected. The operation has drawn comparisons to the June 2025 Operation Spider's Web, when covert drones targeted a Russian airbase deep inside enemy lines. What we're seeing here in Crimea in particular is the Ukrainians systematically destroying the different layers of the Russian air defense system. What that says to me is they're increasingly highlighting to the Russians the weakness of Crimea, the difficulties that there are in resupplying it through the Kerch Bridge. The railway line across that has been damaged, and it would not surprise me if we see further attacks on the Kerch Bridge very soon, because the Ukrainians have destroyed the ferries that are used to back up and take heavy cargo across. These heavy landing craft will affect the ability to resupply Crimea again as well. And with the land routes having to come through this occupied territory that the Ukrainians are increasingly influencing with their long-range drone attacks, Crimea is becoming a bit of a difficulty for Russia when they're trying to sustain their presence in the area. We'll see a lot more of this over the next 12 months, I believe. The largest attack is expected to significantly disrupt Russia's ambitions to strike Odessa, with the damage to its Black Sea fleet forcing commanders to reassess their next move. What we're seeing is the systematic dismantling of Russia's ability to project power from the sea by targeting landing ships like the Yamal and the Filchenkov. Ukraine is effectively trapping Russian forces in Crimea. They're making it impossible for the Kremlin to reinforce their southern flank by water, forcing them onto predictable, vulnerable land routes, as I've highlighted. If the Black Sea Fleet cannot even protect its most valuable transport assets inside the most defended harbour in the region, then the fleet has ceased to be an effective fighting force and has become a collection of sitting ducks. Putin's Russian lake is being reclaimed, one drone strike at a time. So turning now to developments in the northeastern part of Ukraine, where there is a growing area of concern, and that's emerging along the Sumy Axis. Ukrainian officials are warning of a sharp escalation in Russian activity across the Sumy region as border communities come under sustained and increasingly intense pressure. Over the past few days, dozens of towns and villages have faced repeated strikes, highlighting what Kyiv describes as a deliberate campaign aimed at destabilising the region and stretching Ukrainian defensive resources. According to the Sumy Regional Military Administration, nearly 70 separate strikes were recorded in just a 24-hour period, from the morning of the 19th of April through to the morning of the 20th of April. Those attacks targeted 23 settlements across 13 territorial communities, underlining the broad scope and scale of the bombardment. Authorities confirm that at least 3 civilians were injured during this wave of attacks. Russian forces are reported to be using a wide array of weapon systems in these strikes, including mortars, conventional artillery, FPV and other unmanned aerial vehicles and drones, and guided aerial bombs. Despite the sustained pressure, Ukrainian officials emphasise that defensive positions in the region remain intact. As the broader conflict continues, this northern front is likely to remain a key area to watch, both for its strategic importance and for the ongoing impact on civilian populations caught in the crossfire. One of the areas where Russia has had to fall back and pull troops away is in the city of Lyman. According to emerging reports, Ukrainian units have pushed Russian forces out of parts of the area, reclaiming approximately 4 kilometres of territory in and around the city of Lyman. In the Battle of Lyman, the fighting in this sector has been intense. Ukrainian ground troops, supported by drone units, mounted a determined defence that appears to have stalled Russian offensive efforts. Analysis suggests that a combination of sustained resistance and reported manpower shortages on the Russian side contributed to the setback. Lyman has been a strategically important objective, serving as a key logistics and transport hub in the Donetsk region. Russia's inability to secure control of the area is being viewed as a significant obstacle to its broader ambitions of developing deeper into eastern Ukraine. This is very damaging to Russia's ambition to further advance in the Donetsk Oblast, with many casualties and losses reported, and Russia forced to retreat and regroup.